very people that kidnapped us are the very people that's now giving us, their version of the Bible. But yet at the same time, they want to vilify and demonize the very place where their very Bible was written at, in Egypt. And it was demonized and vilified so people would not look at Egypt and start to study that these spiritual ideas going back thousands of years, the foundation of Western version of Christianity is based off of the salvation and resurrection. That you would resurrect and live again in the afterlife. That is that foundation that although their version of it is the physical body will get up. But that is a copy of the ancient, that came out of the ancient African mind. Not out of Europe. It didn't come out of Europe. That spirituality was created by African people about salvation and resurrection that was corrupted by the Europeans. And because that we have been indoctrinated with this belief system that Europeans have created through this whole white idolatry, which they created a white heaven and a white world, and they brainwashed us to believe that this was real. That what we were looking at through these images and representations, which in fact it's a corruption of the ancient African spiritual ideas that African people created. Unfortunately, our ancestors, when they built those temples, fortunately they carved all over the temples. Even if you can't read the Medu Neter, you can see the images and the representations on there to see where they got these ideas from. As I said, as we get ready to move on into after this Halloween and after Thanksgiving Day, and then we move on into Christmas. And here you see on the temple, you see the star that is rising, and here we see the birth of Haru and a Set giving a holy birth. If this is so pagan and heathen, then why do we see the same exact story? Why do we see the mother and child, a Set and Haru? With the European Byzantine Christians, like Theodosius and Justinian, why did they try to chisel these things out from the temple of Aset that we show our group every year? There you can see it right there on the temple. It predates the Western version of Christianity. So this is the reason why the holidays locks you into the European worldview, and that's the only view that we know. This creates the continuation of the white idolatry and the worship of the European holidays and their religion through a lot of it plays through the holidays, especially the early indoctrination with children. That's why the Catholics say, give me your child from under 7, you can have them back. So you got these treats, you got candy, you got all kinds of stuff going on out here. You got gifts and all kinds of stuff, and all these kind of things that black folks are locked into, all about, and it doesn't help us at all about helping to pick up the gross national product. And then this is the time from October all the way to December, this is the time that most of us max out our credit cards and everything else. Most of the suicides and homicides and all these things happen around this time of the year because of a thorough indoctrination into these European holidays. And that's why Dr. Shaka Musa Bar Shango called it African people and European holidays as a mental genocide on the psychic of African people. And I know this is hard for a lot of black folks to listen to. I understand. I was at a lecture last week, and I told the audience, I'm driving down the street, Carl, and Nat King Cole comes on. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, and all of a sudden I got to shake my head and get myself together. Because we've been indoctrinated into these things very deep. The smell of the pine tree and all these things are deep indoctrination. That's why during the Koresh thing down here in Texas and Waco, what did the FBI do?
Hold that story right there, Brother Kwesi. We got to take another break. We're closing in on the top of the hour. So